Hey now everyone, Vegtanit here. Welcome to Morrowind. This is a Let's Play series I've been wanting to do for a really long time. Pretty much since I had the idea to start doing this, I've been wanting to do Morrowind. Morrowind is definitely one of my favorite games of all time. And I could definitely sit here and go on and on for a long time about why. But then we'd be, an hour or two into the video and I still wouldn't have said anything, or I still wouldn't have played the game at all. So we'll do that another time. Or perhaps I'll, mix some ideas in as we go along. It'll probably be a little of both. But yes, today we are going to start a brand new character and take off in Vvardenfell and see how it goes. So first things first, start a new character.
They have taken you from the Imperial City's prison, first by carriage and now by boat. To the east, to Morrowind. Fear not, for I am watchful. You have been chosen.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up.
And here we are. As you can see, I'm running a mod that has a quick character generation option available. This is the BTB one. I will do a video that goes over the mods I'm using at some point, but for now, this is the one that just alters some of the starting stats. I believe it alters some of the starting spells and powers, and in addition, it gives you the option to just jump through the character creation. We're not going to do that. We'll go through the regular character creation, but I just want to throw that out there. Also, one other thing, this particular version of that mod changes the time scale, so the day is much longer, especially with real-time shadows being used. You don't want shadows just crawling across the ground at super speed, which they do if you play at default time scale. So this thing, I think it's something around in the order of every hour in our time. Is it 6 hours in game time or 4 hours in game time? I'll have to double check that, but it's pretty well slowed down. I think it might be 6, but anyway, it's much slower. So with that said, let's continue on, and we are not going to do quick character generation.
Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. What's your name?
Name. How about this one? Vegtanit Billantic. I think that works. That's a good Morrowindification of my Vegtanit, I think. We'll see how it goes.
Well, not even last night's storm could wake you.
Yeah.
I heard them say we reached Morrowind.
Oh, yeah?
I'm sure they'll let us go.
You think? Just like that? Both of us? This guy?
Quiet. Here comes the car.
Okay, shh.
This is where you get off. Come with me.
Okay, so we get a little bit of tutorial action. I'm not going to read through all of it. If you're not familiar with it, let me know in the comments if you need me to go back over it in some detail. Maybe I'll give you a specific, do a specific video that goes through tutorial in more detail. But for now, we'll probably just whiz through these pretty quickly because I'm assuming most people are familiar.
You better do what they say.
Okay, well, sorry man. I guess I'll see you around. Nice ship. Can I
Get
just hang
yourself
out?
up on deck and let's keep this as civil as possible.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe she'll... Yeah, okay. Spacebar, got it.
The sooner you leave, the sooner we can move on.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, if that's how y'all feel, then I guess I'll just head on out of here. Ah, and here we are. Look at this. Look at this. This is MGEXE in its glory. Well, some of its glory. Some people, I'm sure, make it even more glorious, but these settings work really well for me. I like keeping a certain degree of fog. I don't like the world being too tiny, but I do like to be able to see further than the vanilla games, you know, even maximum setting. It's not that far. But from here, you should be able to see, just beyond the ship there, the outer edge of the cantons of Vivec. And way back there, just the faintest shadow of the moon that's hovering over Vivec. We'll get to that eventually, but these settings work really well for me. So
This is where they want you. Head down to the dock and I'll show you to the census office.
that guy is Morgan Freeman. I'm telling you, that is Morgan Freeman.
You finally arrived, but our records don't show from where.
From where? Well, from here, actually. I'm a Dark Elf. That's what I'm going to play as. I like playing as Dark Elves. Just not always, but in this case, definitely. And besides, it's just fun to play as the indigenous race sometimes. There, that works fairly well. Except for the hair. We got to change the hair. Oh. Yeah. There we go. Okay, that works for me. Okay. Very good. Moving right along.
Great. I'm sure you'll fit right in. Follow me up to the office and they'll finish your release.
Man, it looks so good. I'm so pleased. I was never able to accomplish this before, but now I finally can. I'm very pleased. Alright.
Yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released. There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
Naturally, we're going to create a custom class. That's the best way to go about it, generally speaking. The name of the class, I've seen people in forums and online in general saying that they have trouble changing the name. All you have to do is click in the box. You don't get a cursor or anything until you backspace, but then you get one. And then you just type it right on in. Alchemist is what I'm going with. Specialization, magic. Intelligence is one attribute, but the other is endurance. And the reasoning behind that is the alchemist in Vvardenfell is going to be out there in the wilderness a lot collecting ingredients and possibly even dealing with people or going into places that they're not, may or may not be welcome to get some of the hardest stuff. So endurance and intelligence were the attributes that I figured would be most useful for those for an alchemist in this particular setting. Major skills. I considered unarmored, but I changed my mind eventually and decided to go medium armor, spear. I like both of those, medium armor and spear, not just because they deal with endurance, but because they're unique to Morrowind. After Morrowind, well, not unique to Morrowind. Previous games had them, but after Morrowind, you only had heavy and light. So medium armors were gone and spear was gone. Moving right along, the first magic, alteration. Then, of course, we have alchemy. And finally, marksman. Okay, settles another requirement for agility, but it also makes some sense because if the guy's out there in the wilderness, he's going to need a ranged weapon sometimes. Plus, some things are going to be harder to get, and being able to shoot at them may come in handy. So I put a little thought into this. Next up, minor skills. We've got armor for strength, but also because he's going to have to repair things out in the field. Enchant, just for a hobby, basically, but it would make sense for an alchemist. Mysticism, kind of to go with the enchant, but also for dealing with things in the wild. Short blade gives us speed and a melee weapon alternative. Finally, mercantile, for buying and selling all the stuff that he collects and makes. So there you go. There's the basic rundown, short class description. So there you have it. The Alchemist.
Very good. The letter that preceded you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
A certain sign to uncertain parents on a certain day. As you can see, I'm also running a birth sign mod. It was recommended to me by a very good friend, and it's fantastic. It basically gives you Master and Secundus aspects for all of the signs, with a couple of exceptions, the Atronach being one that has no other aspects, and the Serpent being one that has 3 aspects. But all the others have 2. So, yeah. In this case, we are going with the Mage, but it is, I believe it's the newer aspect that's added by this mod, where you get Intelligence and Willpower and Mana Well, but, you know, I could be wrong about that. I never used the Mage much, to be honest with you, but for this particular character, it seemed to make some sense. So, there we have it.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
Okay, so we have Vegtanit Billantic, Dark Elf, Alchemist, Breaking Bad and Vvardenfell, Specialization Magic. Sign is the Mage, Secundus aspect. Here's our stats. Looks pretty good. Like I said, they're altered a little bit by BTB's character mod. Major skills. Just double check them real quick. Looks good. Minor skills. Very good. Everything that's left is down here. And then you can see we've got some abilities. Resist fire, it comes with just being a dark elf. The mage gives us the buffs to intelligence and willpower. We've got Ancestor Guardian, but I believe it's a slightly tweaked Ancestor Guardian. Mana Well, and then some starting spells. Feather, Water Walking, Soul Trap, and Telekinesis. All comes in very handy. So there we have our stats menu.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Isn't it funny when he says interesting, that you know he really is not interested at all in what you've just told him. Okay, let's grab up the papers. Here we are. Looks fine. Okay. There's the start of our menus. Shift these 2 off to the left. The other 2 will be shifted off to the right. I like to be able to see the middle of the screen, so that's the reasoning for that. Okay. Once again, it looks very nice in here. Combination of mods to get this.
Continue through to the next building and talk to Celes Gravius.
Will do. Here, I'll even shut the door behind me. Okay, a little bit of tutorial left. Real quickly, we'll grab the dagger because, hey, it's a free dagger. And it basically says, you know, here's how you equip it. You open it up, you grab it, drop it on your character. Then, depending on how you've got it set up, in my case, it is the down click on the mouse wheel, draws a weapon, and then left click swings it. And then, of course, moving, you know, your direction depends on whether you're chopping, thrusting, or slashing. All of them have a difference in damage in most weapons. So there you go. Okay, that pretty much takes care of that. Here is the note. Oh, Hriskar probably lost a bet, looks like. Supposed to sharpen this dagger, so hopefully it's nice and sharp. And I guess he's going to be in trouble when the dagger's not here. You'll notice some things say owned underneath their weight and value. That is a feature of the Morrowind code patch. Fairly recent one. I happen to like it because it keeps you from stealing stuff. Doesn't tell you if it's who it's owned by or anything like that, but that makes some sense. So I will avoid in this playthrough taking things that are owned unless I absolutely have to. That's not going to be this character's MO. So moving along, we see crab meat, which is not owned. Snatch it up and it tells us you can eat it or you can use it in potions. So there you go. Here we have some Flynn. It's a drink that acts like a potion and is also free. So we can snatch that right up. It's actually worth some gold, so it's worth it. Candlestick tells us we can equip it for lights, but they'll burn out eventually. And the lockpick. And it says there's a little chest on a shelf behind us to try opening up. So let's check it out. Equip it the same way we did the dagger. And give it a try until hopefully it opens up. Let's see what we got. 31 gold pieces. Now in this case, even though the chest is owned, gold doesn't carry ownership. So any gold that you take, regardless of status, being owned or not, goes into your gold pile and it's all the same. None of it is marked as stolen, so no worries there. Everything else on this shelf is, though. It's all owned, so I'm not going to take any of it with one exception, and that is the firmament. As you can see, it is not owned. It looks very nice, so I might hang on to it, but it's also worth 40 gold, so I will probably sell it. By the way, the birth sign mod that I'm using is based on the firmament, so there's that. We will snatch that up. Put the lockpick away. And check out this last room back here. Not much to see in here. There's a bunch of owned containers. They've got some stuff in it. You can always take it if you want to. Again, I'm not going to deal with stolen stuff unless I have to, so I'm just going to leave them alone. But there is the bedroll. If you click on it, it tells you, that you can use beds to rest or press T when you're out in the wilderness. But don't sleep in an owned bed because it's a crime and everybody freaks out. So you don't want to do that. It's kind of like killing a chicken in Skyrim. Just don't do it. I'm not going to sleep now. No need to. But there you go. This is a free bed if you need a place to sleep and level up or just rest or whatever it is you want to do. So there you go. You can also take these torches off the walls, but again, they are owned, so, I'm leaving them. Right, with that much done, let's head on outside. This will give us our map. Little mini map down in the corner there. But then on top of it, we've got a bigger map that would pop up the inventory. So there's that. Lastly, we've got this barrel. This time I got a gold coin, but this ring is always there. So I'll snatch that out. You notice it is a magic ring. It has a healing property. Close it. And I get the last little message about inventories and whatnot, telling me that I now have a magic menu down here. So, there we go. That takes care of all the menus. One last step, and we'll be done with character creation. Here is Celis Gravius, the guy we're supposed to talk to. He'll say something about papers if we walk up to him.
Your papers, please.
Ah. Okay, so he takes the papers. He says his background isn't important, but I always click on it anyway. And then we get into the juice of the story. He says that you were in Morrowind. He doesn't know why, but the Emperor himself is the one that released us and sent us here, or sent me here. So here I am, and he has some instructions and some duties. So let's see what the duties are. Okay, so there's a package. I have to take it to this guy named, I pronounce it Caius Cosades. I'm sure there are many other pronunciations, but that's how it's always looked to me, so that's how I say it. In the town of Balmora. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for him, and someone should know how to find him. I'm supposed to serve him like I would the Emperor himself, so this guy must be pretty important. And there's a letter for me and a little bit of cash, so that's cool, I guess. Get a little bit of gold, 87 gold, some directions, the package for what's his name, and a journal update. So let's see, can you tell me any more about this guy? I'm supposed to report to him, but he doesn't know where to find him except to go to this bar. So okay, we'll go to the bar. What else we got? Yep, he confirms that we are in Morrowind, and it's on the authorization of the Emperor, and he repeats himself about the duties and whatnot. Uriel Septim is the Emperor, and he confirms that everything is mysterious and that things are typically like that with the Empire. So we have that. Yep, and then he confirms that we are in fact in the Empire, that the Empire is in control of Morrowind, which is interesting. I think that a lot of them probably acknowledge that, but aren't happy about it. And in reality, you'll see that in most places the authority has no presence whatsoever, and everything is run just by Dunmer law. So we'll get into that as we move along. And I do believe that covers just about everything. So, everything said, everything done, we will say goodbye and head on out the door. So here we are. We're outside. We're on our own. It says to go to the trade house. It's up on the left. And then go wherever we want. And check the journal for quests and whatnot, and so on and so forth. So yeah, our journey's ready to begin. It's also a good place to stop the first video. We'll take a quick look out here. There's the town of Vvardenfell. That's where we'll be picking up next. Talking to some of the folks in town, learning a few things, maybe making a little bit of coin, maybe buying an item or two. See how it goes. But for now, we're going to stop the video and pick it up right here in the next one. Thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. We've got a long way to go with this adventure. It's just getting started. Morrowind is a huge game. It can go on indefinitely. There is a main quest that we will definitely be working towards, but there's a ton of other stuff to do. So this could go on for a very long time, and this character doesn't have any particular goals in mind. So we'll just see how it goes with this one. click the subscribe button if you'd like to see more and keep up with the adventure. Comment, like, subscribe. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next video. Till next time, see ya.